Hello everyone, my name is David. Today we are going to take a look at another horrible case with you. Marriage is a very sacred relationship, yet the graph of extramarital affairs seems to be rising worldwide. However, the consequences of being unfaithful to one's life partner can often be severe, and in today's case, this holds true for two individuals. The story today has so many twists and turns that it is no less than a crime thriller movie. This story begins in the year 2015. In fact, a 32-year-old woman named Shefali Bhasin Tiwari used to live in the city of Gurugram in the state of Haryana, India. Shefali lived in a society called Ansel Valley View, located on the road from Gurugram to Faridabad. Before moving forward, let me tell you that Haryana's Vedic land has been the origin of Indian culture and civilization. Meanwhile, Gurugram is India's second-largest information technology hub, and the society where Shefali lived was quite good. Shefali was a freelance journalist, meaning she did not work for a single news channel or newspaper, but took up work wherever she found it. Shefali's family was financially well off, allowing her to complete her schooling and college education without any difficulty. During college, she befriended a boy, and before she knew it, their friendship had blossomed into love. Sometime later, they decided to get married and discussed it with their respective families. After marriage, Shefali was very happy with her husband, and both were doing well in their professional fields. Their married life was going smoothly when one day Shefali and her husband decided to sell one of their apartments. By 2015, they owned 2 apartments and decided to sell one to a man named Vikram Chauhan. After purchasing the apartment, Vikram Chauhan moved in with his family. Vikram was married and had 2 children. His wife's name was Deepika, and they had a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old son. Vikram was a senior officer at an infrastructure development firm, while his wife worked in the banking sector. Despite selling their apartment, Shefali continued to live in the same area. During their morning walks, Shefali and Vikram began meeting regularly. They spent a lot of time talking and getting to know each other. Over time, Shefali found herself attracted to Vikram, and Vikram also started liking Shefali. In reality, these two had fallen in love with each other, and they expressed their feelings soon after. However, they couldn't be together because Shefali was already married to her college boyfriend, and Vikram had 2 children. Despite the obstacles in their love, they swore to live and die together and couldn't live without each other anymore. In the meantime, they often went on trips outside the city and to the mountains. But since they lived in the same society and met frequently, their relationship couldn't stay hidden for long, and eventually Vikram's wife Deepika found out about it. Deepika noticed that Shefali went for a morning walk with her husband every day, and they talked a lot during that time. Additionally, she observed that whenever Vikram was home, Shefali would find some excuse to come over to their house. On the other hand, Shefali's husband also got wind of the situation and realized that Shefali was spending more time with Vikram and seemed happy with him. Now that both Shefali's husband and Vikram's wife knew about the affair, they stayed silent to maintain their reputation in society. But this silence was short-lived because one day, Deepika told her husband Vikram that he wasn't paying attention to his family and was involved with another woman. After this, Vikram did make some changes in his behavior and stayed away from Shefali for a while, which made Shefali jealous. But one day, Shefali suddenly told Vikram, "How long are we going to keep meeting in secret? If we love each other, let's get married." Hearing this, Vikram was initially shocked but then realized Shefali was right. They loved each other, and Vikram loved Shefali so much that he agreed to marry her. However, for this new marriage, they both needed to divorce their partners. So they decided that Shefali would talk to her husband and Vikram would talk to his wife about getting a divorce. One day, Shefali told her husband, "There is someone else in my life who makes me happy, and I think I'll be happier with him in the future too, so it would be better if we get a divorce." Her husband quickly agreed to the divorce because he already knew about Shefali and Vikram's relationship and felt that even if he didn't give her a divorce, their relationship wouldn't last long. Surprisingly, Shefali had met her husband in college, where they fell in love, but that love ended in a moment. Anyway, Shefali then informed Vikram, "I've convinced my husband for a divorce, now you should get a divorce from Deepika soon." Taking the opportunity, one day Vikram said to Deepika, "I have fallen in love with Shefali and want to spend my life with her." Hearing this, Deepika was deeply shocked because, despite knowing about Vikram and Shefali's relationship, she had hoped that Vikram might eventually forget Shefali, but that wasn't happening. However, Deepika tried hard to convince Vikram not to get a divorce. She also said, "What will happen to the future of our children if we separate?" But none of this affected Vikram. Deepika even told Vikram's parents about it, and they too tried to reason with him, but Vikram didn't listen to his parents either. Deepika also informed her own parents about the divorce, but that didn't help. When Vikram refused to relent, Deepika made a decision that no matter what, she would not give Vikram a divorce. The problem was that Vikram couldn't marry Shefali until he got a divorce. This led to several arguments between Vikram and Deepika. Vikram even tried to threaten Deepika several times, but she remained firm in not taking a divorce. Meanwhile, Shefali was pressuring Vikram to marry her. However, Vikram kept postponing it, saying, "I am trying my best, and soon we will get married." Well, time passed quickly, and one day Shefali tells Vikram, "I'm pregnant with your child. Before the baby is born, you need to divorce your wife and marry me." After hearing this, Vikram tried talking to Deepika again, but this time too, Deepika ignored Vikram. However, since Deepika had found out about Vikram and Shefali's relationship, Vikram started going out with Shefali without any fear. In April 2018, Shefali and Vikram went to Ladakh, a beautiful place in India, for a trip. But instead of enjoying the trip, they came up with the idea that if they killed Deepika, they could easily get married. After this, they began thinking of ways to kill Deepika. While climbing a mountain, Shefali got an idea and shared it with Vikram. Shefali said, "Vikram, take Deepika on a trip to a hill station and then push her off a mountain. No one will know about her death, and even if they do, they might just think it was an accidental death." Vikram liked Shefali's idea and agreed to kill Deepika. They stayed in Ladakh for a few days and returned home in April. After returning, Vikram suggested to his wife that they should go on a trip too, but Deepika refused because she was still very angry with Vikram. At this point, Vikram had realized that if he wanted to take Deepika to a hill station, he would first have to change his own behavior. To persuade Deepika, Vikram made slight adjustments to his attitude and started treating her better. Consequently, Deepika also began to feel that Vikram was gradually changing, but she had no idea what was actually going on in Vikram's mind. Despite the change in his behavior, it took Vikram quite some time to convince Deepika to go on a trip with him, and by then, it was already October. Finally, on October 24, 2018, Deepika agreed to go to Nainital with Vikram. Nainital is a hill town located in the state of Uttarakhand, India, known for its lakes and tall mountains. Upon reaching Nainital, Vikram tried to persuade Deepika to go up the mountain, but she refused. The reason behind Deepika's refusal was unclear, but every time Vikram asked her to go up the mountain, she declined. Because of this, Vikram never got the chance to carry out his plan to murder Deepika, and his plan failed. Friends, before moving forward in the video, I have a small request for you. I want to let you know that behind the David True Crime channel, there is a team of 5 people who work hard to bring you the best quality content through thorough research. If you appreciate our efforts, you can support us according to your preference by visiting the link provided in the description. Your small support will motivate us to work effectively on the channel. Thank you. Now, let's continue with the story. On October 26, 2018, both of them returned to Delhi. However, on the way back, Shefali was still in contact with Vikram, messaging him to ask if he had killed Deepika. But when Vikram told Shefali the whole story, Shefali sent Vikram a final message which read, "You are a loser." This deeply hurt Vikram. Anyway, they reached Delhi on the 26th, and the very next day, October 27th, was Karwa Chauth. In fact, Karwa Chauth is a Hindu festival celebrated by married women in India who fast from sunrise to moonrise to pray for the well-being and longevity of their husbands. On this festival, Deepika's parents also came to their house because they knew that there were frequent arguments between Vikram and Deepika, and they came to resolve these conflicts. However, in the evening, Deepika's parents went back to their home. Deepika had fasted on Karwa Chauth for the long life of her husband, but Shefali was very angry that day and kept messaging Vikram, which made Vikram very irritated. Now, when Deepika brought Vikram to the balcony to break her fast, a fight broke out between them. The argument escalated to the point where Vikram, in a fit of rage, pushed Deepika off the balcony. It's worth noting that their home was on the 8th floor of the building. However, as Deepika began to fall, she suddenly grabbed Vikram's hand. The last words Deepika said, while holding Vikram's hand, were, "Don't kill me, I love my 2 children very much." But Vikram didn't listen to a word Deepika said and loosened his grip on her, throwing her down from the 8th floor. However, by coincidence, a person living next door witnessed Vikram's act, but before he could react, Deepika had already fallen. After this, to cover up, Vikram threw some flower pots from his balcony, breaking them, and then crying, Vikram quickly went downstairs to the society area. An ambulance was called, and as soon as Deepika was taken to the hospital, the doctors declared her dead. Later, the police arrived, and Vikram told them that they were both standing on the balcony when suddenly Deepika lost her balance and fell off. After Vikram narrated this to the police, they registered it as an accidental death. But the next day, Deepika's parents informed the police that Deepika and Vikram had been having serious relationship issues for some time, and the reason was a girl named Shefali. After learning this, the police became suspicious and seized Vikram's phone to check his emails, call details, and messages. Here they found messages from Shefali, where they both had discussed the entire plan to kill Deepika. When this was uncovered, on October 29th, the police arrested both Vikram and Shefali. Now that the police have arrested Vikram and Shefali, Vikram's neighbor also goes to the police and gives a statement saying that he is an eyewitness to Deepika's death. He said that he personally saw Vikram push Deepika from the balcony with his own eyes. The police registered the entire case and arrested both of them. During the investigation, the police also discovered that Vikram has a brother who knew about the conspiracy to murder, but he fled his home right after Vikram's arrest. Anyway, after that, both of them were sent to jail and then placed in judicial custody. However, shortly afterward, the court granted Shefali bail because she was pregnant. But here, Deepika's family filed an objection, stating that there are many women in the country's prisons who were sent to jail while pregnant and even gave birth in jail. But the court dismissed Deepika's parents' petition. Anyway, both the accused are still in jail, and it is unlikely that Vikram will ever get a chance to meet Shefali again, for whom he killed his wife. However, the police have a lot of evidence against Vikram, because of which the court will give him the harshest punishment. But so far, no official statement has been issued by the court, and no information is available on the internet. But we will keep an eye on this case, and whenever there is an update, we will definitely share it with you through the community posts of the David True Crime channel. So with that, the Deepika murder case comes to an end right here. Additionally, if you want to recommend any case for us to make a detailed video on, you can write the name of that case in the comment section. If you appreciate our efforts, like and share this video. If you haven't subscribed, do so now. Thank you.